Do you ever feel overwhelmed? Well, of course, who doesn't? A better question might be this. When you do feel overwhelmed, what are some ways that you can implement in order to reduce the feelings of overwhelm? May I suggest that you consider taking some micro steps? Hi, neighbor. I want to welcome you to a special episode of Anchors of Encouragement. This is going to be a different episode than you're accustomed to hearing. There's not going to be any intro or outro music. And as I'm going to share with you in a moment, this is about as basic as I can get to record a podcast episode for you. I've been thinking a lot about the concept of overwhelm and wanted to share that with you. In fact, I had another episode planned to drop today, but decided to postpone that for a day or so in order to record this one. What I typically do when I want to consider a topic is I will take a word that for the topic itself, and I turn that word into an acronym. And then with pen to paper and typically a walk, I will flesh out different ideas that the concept of the word give me by using words that start with each one of the letters in the acronym. When I got to the letter M for overwhelm, I was thinking of a conversation I had with my neighbor Nikki in Australia. I hope to have her on a future podcast episode because she has a really interesting and helpful concept to deal with a topic that a lot of people go through. And I'm not going to share any more about that. I'll save that for another day. But one of the ways that she deals with her topic is that she suggests taking micro steps. I love that idea. And I wanted to channel the idea of micro steps and consider it in light of overwhelm. Let me illustrate how I'm applying that today in this episode. When I first began this podcast, and it's still relatively new, there are so many facets to putting one of these things on. And I remember feeling overwhelmed with all of the to-dos in order to make this thing a reality. Fortunately, I became aware of and participated in some special training how to do this. And that my trainer, who has since become my friend, Stef, has some excellent training on how to create a podcast and share your message with the world. In fact, today, she is celebrating the 1 millionth download of her podcast. It's just amazing, and I want to congratulate her for that. In her training, she takes you step by step, all the things you have to do in order to create a podcast. It makes it manageable and doable. Now, I have a really nice microphone. I have some really sophisticated software that I will record my podcast into, and then I can edit, I can add music, I can take away noise that I don't want you to hear. But I decided today to take a micro step and share with you this message of overwhelm and how to reduce it in the most simplest way possible. What you may or may not know about me is when I'm fleshing out topics and coming up with what I want to say to you in these episodes, I go for a lot of walks. It's during those walks that I can clear my head and collect my thoughts and verbalize what I want to say. So today I decided to get back to the basics, to take a micro step to share with you this concept of overwhelm. So I'm outside. You may hear nature. You might hear noise from the traffic. I hope it's not too distracting. But I wanted to do this as simply as possible to share with you a micro step that I can take now to get this message out to you as quickly as possible. The other thing, I'm not using my fancy microphone. I'm simply speaking into my phone. Now, when I'm done, I'll upload the MP3 file to my software so I can get that distributed to you. But there's not going to be any music added to it. It's just going to be a raw file. And it is what it is. But I hope this illustrates to you the idea that you can take a micro step to reduce the overwhelm, because I wanted to get this out to you as quickly as possible. And to me, this was the fastest way, and illustrated to you how I can do that in my own way. As you know, this podcast is devoted to adoptive parents. It's biblical mindset support for them. And I'm thinking about the different ways that the adoption journey can feel overwhelming. As we get to the daily doable, I want adoptive parents to think about ways that they could implement this concept. But whether you're an adoptive parent or not, I want you to think about ways that you can implement this concept of overwhelm and reducing it in your life. So your daily doable is this. What micro steps can you take to reduce overwhelm in your life? The way I like to do it is to go for a walk, to journal, with pen to paper to make a list of things that I can do. Whatever works for you, and whatever season you find yourself in, and whatever thing that's causing you to feel overwhelmed, I hope you'll take this idea and these ideas of micro steps and implement them in your life in order to reduce these feelings. What you replace the feelings of overwhelm with are feelings of accomplishment. Knowing that you can take the steps necessary, micro steps, to accomplish a goal. That's all for this episode. I hope this has encouraged you. I pray that these ideas will help you to reduce those feelings. I know in my life, that's my goal, is to not feel overwhelmed and to take these micro steps each and every day to accomplish that. Watch for the episode I was planning on sharing with you today. It'll be coming soon. It's going to be a direct response to an answer I received from one of our listeners. I'm looking forward to sharing that story and more with you at a later date. That's all for now. Until next time, this is Tim, encouraging you to do what you can now.